Something that we've just found a few days ago. Yet another coaster closure, but at these two Six Flags parks. Six Flags Over Georgia and Six Flags Fiesta Texas had announced of the closure of Kid Flash Cosmic Coaster. This opened in 2023 and was a late opening, and it was the first of its kind, and it was a prototype Skyline Attractions family coaster. So it's a dueling family coaster, which is two separate tracks. It is not a Mobius, but that would be pretty cool. Maybe they could try to do it with Zamperla and stuff, but we'll get into that more later. But this was a fail. It only opened only 1 year, and it was closed since August of 2024. Only a very short term operation. It wasn't going to be something that it will operate for a long time, but we weren't expecting this to go. Either Six Flags Fiesta Texas and Over Georgia, they're gonna be both be removing this ride. But I do want to talk about what could try to be replaced with this coaster, because they wasted that space for nothing, and they were trying to build a coaster there. I believe the reason why they are closing these rides is because both of these coasters, both Fiesta Texas and Over Georgia, have these coasters have maintenance problems and would never be fixed. They tried to fix this ride, but every time they try to fix it, there's always a problem with it. Skyline Attractions just tried to kind of step up to their game and just kind of build coasters. It just that so happens that they just failed with the coaster industry, and the manufacturer, just failed and didn't do their best. But I do like the lighting on the coaster. It's like red and yellow or red and green on Christmas. Those lights at night look really cool. I just wish that this ride didn't close and did not fail. That also happens the same with the other Skyline Attractions rides, like Tidal Toaster at SeaWorld San Diego and Harley Quinn Crazy Train there at Discovery Kingdom. Those rides got shut down because of the same problem, failure maintenance, and was not able to be fixed properly, and the ride has been closed. The same thing with this one, will be gone. So what could potentially replace the coaster? Kid Flash Cosmic Coaster will be showing you the coaster, the current area or the location where it's currently sitting at via Google Earth. So we're gonna first start with Fiesta Texas location. So this is pretty small, but you can realize that there's still plenty of space right here next to this theater, right in front of Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger. They could probably put in a bigger coaster there. Well, unfortunately, that plot of land won't be touched because that is actually used for bleachers or chairs for the fireworks show or the drone show. So don't think that they're gonna touch that. But when you see that this is a very small plot of land, and when I say small plot of land, this is pretty small, but the only thing I can think of is probably another kiddie coaster that could potentially replace it, or maybe a small family coaster, or maybe they can go very creative and build like a mock multi-launch family coaster like Manta at SeaWorld San Diego, or something maybe fairly smaller blueprint, maybe a Premier Ride Skyrocket too. But this is pretty small to fit it in, but I can probably see that it could most likely fit in this area. Though they were leaking that it would probably go next to the Chapacora ride. What is that? That Chupa. I don't know how to pronounce it, but the B&M Invert, the Batman clone, is like gonna be right next to it. Um, I think it's called Chupacabra. Yeah, I think it's Chupacabra. Sorry if I pronounce it wrong, but here's Kid Flash, and technically this is probably gonna be good to put a Premier Ride Skyrocket 2 here, or possibly another family coaster. So, but I think it's best if they put another family coaster here. I think they should put the Skyrocket 2 next to the Chupacabra coaster, the Batman clone coaster. But this is it. It's closing, so we could potentially see a replacement. If not, maybe what they're gonna replace it with is maybe a backstage area, or possibly maybe a new building, maybe a new restaurant, like a new cafe or something. Possibly a new flat ride could probably take its spot. But I think my best bet, I think they should do the dueling coaster again, but with a different manufacturer. I think Zamperla is probably good with family coasters. So maybe we see something like a racing coaster by Zamperla. It's going to be the first of its kind. But it's going to be a different manufacturer, but of course it's going to probably be a way different design. Who knows, they're going to come up with the same name, but it could end up being maybe a different name. So, we'll have to wait and see, but I feel like a Zamperla dueling family coaster. Maybe it doesn't have to be two separate tracks. It could be like a Mobius one, but for the kids. Think about Twisted Colossus at Magic Mountain or West Coast Racers, but as a kiddie coaster. So take that, but make it a kiddie coaster. Then you probably know what I'm talking about. So they can do pretty much something like that. So they just have to remove the ride and then just, call in Zamperla and then just have the track be reused and stuff. So they can do something like that. That could probably be a good replacement. Here's Over Georgia's location. So it is right in front of this stage. It is located in the DC Universe area, so it's close to the, Batman the Ride Coaster, the Catwoman, and the Joker's, you know, uh, what is that? The chair swing ride. So it's close to that area, and technically, this is also a small plot of land, but I don't see them replacing it anytime soon because they're getting a coaster called Georgia Gold Rush, their Intamin Surf Rider coaster. It's gonna be opening sometime this year, but I don't see them getting a replacement for Kid Flash anytime soon. But the same thing with Fiesta Texas. I think the best coaster that could fit in is a Zamperla Mobius dueling coaster. So instead of two separate tracks like Kid Flash had, they could make it by Zamperla and they could race each other. So it will still be a racing coaster, but it's gonna be from a different manufacturer. Because Skyline Attractions unfortunately failed, but they just tried to succeed, They just tried to make good roller coasters, possibly family coasters. Maybe who knows, they're gonna go with a Skyline, a heart-shaped coaster, or maybe something like Sandy's Splashing Bronco at Mall of America there in New Jersey. But instead of Intamin, maybe they can use Skyline. But Skyline failed with everything, so you know it's really bad for them. They wanted to make money, and parks buying their rides. But if it's gonna have so many problems like that, technically it really sucks that a ride is gonna be going away. And technically Six Flags is spending a lot of money just removing rides that are not popular anymore, have a high maintenance cost, or it's not popular anymore, or possibly just a lot of mechanical problems. There's a lot of downtime and stuff. So that's pretty much it that I can think of replacement. Now I also was thinking originally of a Premier Rides Skyrocket 2 to replace it, but again, that would be too big. But I feel like another family coaster replacing it probably would make more sense than adding a big new thrill coaster. So something maybe like a dueling family coaster, they can try to redo it again and have Zamperla do it for them, and that would be pretty cool. It'd be nice for the families because they really needed another family coaster anyway. But when you take a look at Over Georgia and Fiesta, you know they really don't want to take it out. It seems like they don't want to remove it, but when there's always a problem with it, they don't want to just leave the ride there and just leave it occupied and it's not operating. It's just gonna be a SB&O um, for forever. I don't think that they would want to do that. They probably would have some plans in the near future to whatever's better than what the current coaster is. I mean, it seems like it's a fun coaster. I haven't ridden it, but I heard from people it is a fun ride. But when you take a look at the mechanical problems, that's what you gotta really think of. Now, just think about the ride itself, and you want to keep it, even though it has a lot of downtime. You know, doesn't mean that you could keep it forever. You technically would want to have it removed, because you don't want to just waste your money, and your guests are not going to go on it because it's broken. If it's not safe, then you shouldn't go on it. So you know but it's really sad to hear another coaster is going. So there's a lot of coasters being removed actually nowadays. It's just absolutely insane. Why are they removing coasters? Maybe for better replacement and stuff. So Six Flags and Cedar Park have merged, and they've been kind of busy, choosing what rides to remove, and whatever ride has some kind of mechanical problems and stuff. So that's what the problem is here. But you know, I could see a possible replacement maybe later down the line, just not right away. At least for you know, uh, over Georgia. But next year, 2026, we could potentially see a replacement of Kid Flash over there down at Fiesta, maybe to get a Zamperla dueling coaster. So we'll have to wait and see, check back what they will replace it. Maybe there'll be an announcement for it. But other than that, what do you think is going to replace the two Kid Flash coasters? What do you want to see them replace it with? Put your comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next